What's up everybody, Matt Maran here for another My Week With video. So this week I've been driving the 2025 Nissan Kicks, and this is the top SR all-wheel drive version. And I just recently did a review on these not too long ago and was really impressed with it. You can watch the full review if you want to hear all the details, all my thoughts on this vehicle, how it compares to its competition and all that. But in this video, I just want to talk about what it's like to live with now, because I had just been driving it for a morning in that first review. Now I've driven it for a whole week here and lived my life in it, and honestly it's just the same goodness. A lot of times when I drive vehicles for a week, some minor complaints and nitpicks come up that are disappointing to me, but honestly I think this vehicle has actually felt better than I was even expecting. It makes a very good first impression, but then just living with it over time is even better. And I really don't have anything to complain about. My one stupid little nitpick is that the engine stop-start button is a little bit of a reach, a little further away and kind of hidden under this HVAC control area. That's literally like all I have to complain about here, to be completely honest. Another thing that's really impressed me during my week here is the fuel economy. So these are rated for the all-wheel drive versions, a 27 mpg in the city, 34 on the highway, and 30 combined. And I'm hitting exactly 30 mpg in this thing. And I did actually do pretty close to that combined rating actually, because I'd say a little over half of my driving on the highway. It was pretty close to a combined number there. But so, I mean, even there, it's living right up to those expectations of that impressive EPA fuel economy here in this, and doing it all without any kind of hybrid assistance or anything. Just, a really efficient little 4-cylinder engine here. And yeah, just a really nice driving experience, and smart tuning with the CVT of not letting the revs sit too high. It really drops down nice and quickly and is really good as far as that goes. And just, living with this vehicle, I've just grown to love, the high-end features you get at this low price tag. I mean, this has the 360 cameras. It has this Bose stereo, which, by the way, this week I've been also driving a $76,000 Acura MDX Type S with 31 speakers and a Bang & Olufsen stereo that's really impressive, tons of wattage and stuff. And this little Kick stereo with, these fantastic headrest speakers in this, this Bose system, it's not as good as that. Don't get me wrong, but it's really pretty close. It's definitely not half the experience, considering it's half the price. It really punches above its weight. The screens punch above its weight. Just everything about this, the plushness in here. Even this motor, I think, feels better than you would think on paper. On paper, it's 140 horsepower and a CVT, but this is really so optimized that I was like shocked at how, putting my foot into it here, it gives you the acceleration you need. It's very responsive, but then it quickly calms down the revs to really maximize that efficiency. But it's not like other CVTs, like Subaru CVT, where it feels really mushy. This is pretty quick and responsive and fairly snappy while still being smooth. But I much prefer Nissan's new CVT tuning over a lot of the other competitors and their CVTs. And yeah, it's just really blown my mind just how much I like this little thing. And again, for the price tag of just over $23,000 to start, and this one, as tested, is just over 32, but that's because we have these wheels that are $650. We have these mud flap guard things that are like $250. A bunch of other stuff added on you don't need. At, again, $31,000 all day long, phenomenal value here, even at that price tag. And the one other little thing that I talked about in my original review that I was a little bit concerned about was the slight rattling noise you heard under the hood. And it turns out that is just a trait of these vehicles. But, we're going to do a light acceleration up a hill here. You can hear that like fluttering sound under the hood there. You can hear it slightly, and yes, it is a little unrefined, and it shouldn't have that. None of the other competitors have weird noises under the hood. But it's so quiet that I don't dwell on it, I don't focus on it, and especially you don't hear it whenever you're listening to music or having a conversation with someone. You don't pay attention to it because the engine is actually fairly quiet for a vehicle in this segment as well, outside of, again, that strange little noise. So, even then I thought, I'd be like, man, well, it's really great, but that noise is really annoying me, but like, it actually didn't really annoy me here this week. And so, again, because everything just either lived up to my expectations after a week or even was better than I was expecting, this has really jumped to the top of my picks of one of my favorite all-wheel drive subcompact crossovers. I think the Chevy Trax is still also phenomenal value if you only need front-wheel drive, and these two are really, in my mind, like the best of the segment from a value standpoint. But again, especially if you need that all-wheel drive, the fact you can get one of these all-wheel drive for under $25,000 is really impressive. And even the base one, like I talked about in my original review, you have some of the lesser equipment. You don't have the same big screens you have here in this, and you do lose out on a few other things, but it's not a giant downgrade. So, yes, if you can afford one of these fully loaded ones at 31 grand or whatever, that's great. And I still think it's a phenomenal value at that point as well, because most of the other loaded subcompact crossovers end up being 34, 35 or more. But yeah, no matter how you slice it, whichever trim you go for, I think they're all phenomenal values. And I still love the mods of CX-30. That is still probably my favorite, because it still runs a traditional 6-speed automatic. It has more power with 191 horsepower from a naturally aspirated engine. Really luxurious in the Mazdas, but they're small on space and feel a little more cramped inside. But personally, that still is my favorite. But outside of that, I actually like this a little bit better than the Trax, honestly. Both are very good, but these are some of my favorite. And there's other things that have big screens, like the Hyundai Kona, which is also nice and very much improved and good. And there's a lot of hot sellers in this segment. But I think I'd take this over most of them, if not all of them, again, outside of that CX-30, just because, yes, this has less horsepower than a lot of those do. But it doesn't matter, because this still is fine for getting from point A to point B. And for the average person buying one of these, you're not drag racing people, it's fine. And this is completely sufficient power. Great fuel economy, great space, all the stuff people actually care about in this segment, the tech, the comfort. These zero gravity seats are phenomenal. I've loved sitting in these seats all week. I love the pattern on them. The styling is fun. It gets a lot of comments. I've had compliments from people. It's just, I think these things are going to be super hot sellers. Nissan could use a win, and I think that this was them trying 110%, and I think this could be a big hit for them. We will see. Time will tell how sales go and all that. But yeah, I think that these things, once people get word of these and start finding out about these, I think they're going to be a huge hit. I know from my first review, there seems like there's a lot of interest in these, and I can see why. And I think that especially in these times where a lot of people are still feeling crunched financially, you don't need to have a bigger vehicle. You don't need to have more power. This has all the luxury you could need and probably more. There's no need for anything, beyond this in this segment that you're shopping for. So I don't get the extra perks of a lot of these other vehicles, with turbos and all this stuff. Sure, it's nice, but again, just unnecessary for this segment, I think. And so I think Nissan played this very smart, very pragmatically, but with style and flair and with some passion and some excitement. And it's kind of bizarre that I'm getting this excited about a subcompact crossover, but I truly, have a passion for affordable vehicles and well-done affordable vehicles. And this is really one of those. And it's going to be one of the vehicles I'll be, recommending to a lot of people. I've already recommended it to a neighbor. I will recommend it to a lot of others. And I certainly recommend it to anyone watching here as well. If you want something low cost, it's a solid little vehicle, I think this is one of my top picks in this segment for sure. Definitely worth a test drive. Definitely worth checking out for yourself and seeing what you think. But anyway, that's all of my thoughts here on the Nissan Kicks. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Huge thanks to Nissan for providing me here with this vehicle. And also be sure to check out mattmaranmotoring.com and clicking on the new car quotes. There you'll be able to get access to dealer invoice pricing, as well as getting connected to a dealer near you to check one of these out locally and see what you think about it for yourself. And there will also be a link in the description and also a link in the pinned comment here in this video if you'd like to head on over there and check that out for yourself. But anyway, thank you all once again very much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.